Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. And in today's video, we are going to see how to prospect for business correspondents and microfinance institutions in India. Now, this is something new and different from what we usually cover, and we are diving deep into very niche audiences which are helpful for certain target groups. Now, before we dive in, let's quickly understand what they are. Business correspondents are individuals or organizations that banks appoint to provide their services in areas where they don't have any branches. These are primarily rural areas. Microfinance institutions, on the other hand, are organizations that provide loans, financial aid to low income groups, be it in rural or urban areas. Together, they form the backbone of financial inclusion in India. So let's quickly understand who is going to benefit by reaching out to BCs and MFIs. One is Fintech Startups and Banks who are looking to expand their financial services to rural and semi-urban India. Then there are NGOs Development Agencies who aim to collaborate with such institutions to expand financial literacy. There are researchers, consultants who conduct studies through these organizations. And then there are technology providers who offer solutions, payment systems, and other digital banking solutions as well. Now let's start by understanding how do we prospect these two organizations. We'll start with microfinance institutions first. Now we all know that microfinance institutions fall under the NBFC category, and RBI has already shared a list of registered NBFCs that are there on their platform. So what we have to do is we have to go to the RBI website where they have listed the NBFC list and download that Excel file. So this is how the Excel file looks like when we have the name of that particular NBFC along with the classifications and the remaining details. What RBI has done is it has classified NBFCs based on different categories and MFI or microfinance institutions being one. So I'll quickly filter the list by MFI classification and I'll see that there is a list of roughly 95 companies in this. So over here we get our first list of microfinance institutions right from the source. Next step, what we have to do over here is we'll go to find the people working in these organizations and that are relevant to our ICP. So I'll say, for example, copy the first name. I'll go to Sales Navigator, and using Sales Navigator, I'll search in the current company name for that particular company. So what I'm going to get over here is a list of all the employees working at that particular company. This I can further narrow down by looking for the people that are relevant for me to approach for pitching my product or services. Now I can either reach out to the partnerships head, the CXOs, the VPs. That completely depends on whom is it that I want to target. So over here, once we have selected the set of audience that is relevant for us, what we can do is that we can create lead list for the same and save them in a list, which we can later on extract using Phantom Buster. So say for example, I have created this list, I have added my leads over here. Now this I did for one company, I can do similarly for other companies as well that are part of this list. And once I have my lead list created, I will simply go on to Phantom Buster, use their Sales Navigator list export and extract all the details that I want. So further, when I actually clean the data, collect the remaining details, this is how my final data will look like, wherein I have the company name, the website, the headcount, I have the contact person details, I even have their LinkedIn profiles, and further I'll be able to find their email ID and mobile number using tools like Nusha, Signal Hires, Nov, Apollo and all. One more thing we need to understand is, say for example, this is one way of finding microfinance companies along with the right prospects. The other way of doing this is by using the account search in LinkedIn Sales Navigator. That is, when I go to the account filters, there are a few keywords that I can try. So I have highlighted a few keywords over here like NBFC MFI. Now the reason for using this particular keyword, that is NBFC MFI, is because many companies mention this in their about section that they are an RBI registered NBFC MFI or a microfinance institution. So I'll quickly show you an example. For example, in this company over here, right over here, they have mentioned RBI registered NBFC MFI, as you can see over here. Similarly, we can try other keywords like microfinance institutions or microfinance to then narrow down or find more companies in this particular category. And then we can follow the similar approach of finding the relevant people by using those company names in the lead search in the current company filter and building our entire database. This is about how can you prospect for microfinance institution in India. Next, coming on to how do we search for business correspondents in India. First thing to understand over here is that there is a BC registry over which we'll be able to find these prospects. There are two categories of business correspondents. Now, business correspondents is also referred to as banking correspondents because these are a set of individuals and companies who directly work with banks as an extended arm. When I talk about the two categories, one are corporate and second are individual. Now, on the registry that we have a complete list of all the corporate banking correspondents or business correspondents available. So there's a list of 957 companies. Over here also we can follow the same approach that we followed for microfinance institutions, wherein we can simply search for the company names in the lead filter under the current company. Now, when we actually do this, we are again going to get the same results of the prospects working in that particular company. And then we can shortlist, create the lead list, and again scrape using Phantom Buster. So this is how you can use the corporate VCs list to manually scrape the data of your target audience and have that list created. The second approach is by using the entire complete registry, wherein we can filter based on the state, district, and the bank that we are searching for. So say for example, I want to look for banking correspondents that are working with specific banks in Gujarat. So I'll just put in the state as Gujarat and I'll put in this case, let's say Airtel Payments Bank is what I want to search for. That all the BCs that are associated with Airtel Payments Bank. So when I actually put in the captcha over here and it will load a couple of results and will show me that how many total banking correspondents are there that are working with Airtel Payments Bank in the state of Gujarat. So this is how I can even get the contact number of those. So if you see the initial entries that are there, they are all corporates, but as and when I'm scrolling down, I'm able to see that there are individuals also listed over here whom I can approach. So this is one way in which you can use this business correspondence registry to find those people and approach those people using their mobile numbers. It even has highlighted over here on a map that how many total banking correspondents are there, along with a certain tags that, okay, are they asset based or full-fledged or remittance based. This is all the details that we are able to get. When we even expand on this once by clicking on the company name, what we are able to get after adding again one more caption is the further details of that particular company, which will include city are they actually based on and whether they are corporate or an individual business correspondent. Moving further on, how do we do this for other banks or where do we get more details on? What you can do is that you can simply search for business correspondents in India list, and there are a lot of banks that are mandated to share about the business correspondents that they are working with. I'll show you a couple of examples of say Federal Bank, of Shivalik Bank, where we'll be able to see that how have they shared this data. So as you can see, I have those details, I have the name, I even have the state of operations, at what all states are they working with this particular business correspondence. This helps in terms of getting micro data points if I want to analyze that data. And at the same time, when I see for Shivalik Bank, they have even mentioned or they have even micro down on sharing that for that particular partner or business correspondent, what all product or services are they catering to. So this gives me a much more detailed overview of what all products or what all sectors do these business correspondents work in and how are they helping those larger banks. So if I'm into this category, I'm very well aware of what all things I can search for, how can I prospect and extract the details that I'm looking for using multiple tools, be it Sales Navigator, Phantom Buster, or contact extraction tools like Lusha, Signal Hire or so. So if you found this interesting, if you found this helpful in terms of prospecting in this niche category, then please do like and subscribe to our channel, and thank you so much for watching this video.